Arda Ocal here at a
Tell them how long you've been bothering me for an interview. How many years you've been chasing me. How many years you've been tweeting me. How many years you've been emailing me. Go ahead.
It's been 2 years, 7 months.
It has been.
And 37 days.
That's very accurate. That's actually very accurate.
And 42 minutes.
Nagging me and nagging me and nagging. And then he will come like, "Hi, Arda Ocal, nice to meet you. How you doing?" Like he just throws away his name. Like I'm not going to know who he is. Like I'm not going to recognize him. How he's been nagging me. Oh, come on. I mean, I am a fan of yours, but I'm not going to admit it publicly, even though I just kind of did. He's been nagging me and bothering me and pestering me and emailing me and texting me. Then like he'll send a message to like Ariel Helwani and go, "Can you get me in with Heyman? Can you get me an interview with Heyman? Why doesn't Heyman give me a..." Yes. Oh, so I'm a liar now.
No, you're not.
So I'm a liar. Oh, see, now he's calling me a liar. Go ahead, do your interview. I'll just answer your questions. Oh, it's Arda Ocal. Arda Ocal, nice to meet you. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm with you.
I did not send a message to Ariel Helwani, and I do speak, but we did not send it.
Damon Martin?
Yeah.
Did you go through him?
Let's go through the MMA media. Go ahead. Jeremy Botter, who else?
You went through him too, didn't you?
I went through everyone.
Guy probably called Bill Apter as well. Yeah, I mean, just everybody. Hey man, you ever gonna do an interview with Arda Ocal? He's always trying to do an interview with you. Yeah.
Well, finally, I made it.
Very disappointing.
I snuck in.
Go, now you got me, so...
I'm not supposed to be here.
You're telling me. Nobody got my memo. Don't let Arda Ocal in, whatever you do. The guy's like a stalker.
Well, here I am, captive audience with the evil genius, Paul
Heyman. You're the
Heyman.
captive audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the one that has a camera on me. Go ahead, what do you want?
Well, how do we even follow that? We should just end it right now.
You want to? No. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice day. Buy the video game.
In all seriousness, WWE 13. I want to know your...
You think I'm not being serious? Oh my God! Oh, like I'm joking. In all seriousness now, let's get down.
We can be serious for a minute, to quote someone.
As long as you'd like to be, go right ahead.
WWE 13. Okay, you have a production company, all right? You do.
Yeah.
And WWE 13 has an involvement with this production company.
Yeah, well, it's an advertising, marketing, and branding firm called Looking for Larry here in New York City.
And I want to know how this relationship came about.
We were doing a lot of viral marketing for EA Sports, and then THQ came calling, and we ended up doing a lot of viral marketing for the WWE All-Stars game, and that led to the WWE 12 video game, and then that naturally led to the WWE 13 video game, and now we're doing the viral marketing for this game as well.
And I've seen some of the videos you guys have produced, and tell us more about your involvement with the game. I mean, you are more involved than just creating videos.
Yeah, they call me the creative rabbi on this game.
Isn't everyone?
Only if they're Jewish. So obviously, there's some lawnsmen at THQ. So what happened is that they were looking for someone to write storylines for the Attitude Era component and for the universe mode in the game. And I happen to have just a little wee bit of product knowledge on WWE and the Attitude Era and the universe mode. And I ended up writing a lot of the storylines, or all the storylines for that matter, on the Attitude Era and the universe mode. And I had a blast doing it. You know, it was like old days for me, except I didn't have Vince McMahon yelling at me when he didn't like the storylines I was writing because I was submitting them to THQ and not to Vince McMahon.
So you didn't have, you got glowing reviews on your storylines for THQ.
Wow, then somebody has some really low standards, because I can't even imagine what I was writing at 4 o'clock in the morning on those days. But I guess it's okay. So if I'm getting glowing reviews, I accept them with great humility. Thank you very much.
I gotta say, for a lot of pro wrestling fans watching this interview right now, they are still shocked today that you are involved or on camera in the WWE. And I want to know what led to that decision. Why did you decide to return to WWE in an on-air capacity? It's shocking. I mean, a lot of people are like, wow, really?
It's pretty shocking to me too. You know, listen, and I know this makes for a bad video as I pull something up on my BlackBerry. I do have an iPhone. Want to let you know. I stay up to date.
You're neutral on the smartphone front.
Man, you know, my fingers are too fat to type on the iPhone, so I tend to type on the BlackBerry and then talk on the iPhone. You know, but hey, it is. Now, here, we'll just say it's from Brock Lesnar, and here we are. We're back in WWE, crazy. And that's how it is for both of us, you know. I would never have predicted this a year ago. I would never have predicted this 8 months ago. And I'm still kind of shell-shocked every time I walk in and go, holy cow, man, I'm back here. You know, it was not something that I expected. It was not something that Brock expected. And it was the right place at the right time with the right deal and the right components. And it was just the right moment in time. The whole promotion for SummerSlam was the perfect storm, and this was really the perfect storm, and to bring us both back into WWE. And I still wake up every day very surprised that I'm back.
Let's put it into context, because when you left, you had a pipe bomb of your own when you left television, and I just want to know, put it into context for people watching. You were done at that point. You thought you would never return.
And I think Vince McMahon felt the very same way, and I keep on thinking that if they change Vince's eyeglass prescription and he realizes that it's Heyman on television and not Heenan on television, I think I'm getting my pink slip the very next morning.
And what about, obviously, we thought that your involvement would end with Brock Lesnar. We would see you when we see Brock Lesnar, and maybe a couple more appearances to kind of further the storyline. But here you are now with CM Punk. Right. And I'm wondering, how much of a personal project is that for you, to one of your Paul Heyman guys?
Oh, 100% a personal project. I don't think that anybody who knows CM Punk can honestly tell you that this is not a very real moment on television in his life. CM Punk is a very pissed off individual. He is the WWE champion and has been now for a year. He is, with the exception of being on the cover of this video game, he's not the poster boy for this company. He's not what this company envisions to be the next in line, what this company envisions to be the guy to tout out to Madison Avenue. That's John Cena, or that's The Rock. And the fact is that CM Punk deserves the credit of being the best in the world. If he wasn't the best in the world, why is he the WWE champion? Doesn't that signify that he's the best in the world? The fact that he main events all these shows that go around to all these local arenas, all these live events that people come to and see him defend the WWE title, doesn't that make him the best in the world? Doesn't that make him the poster boy? And yet he's not. John Cena is, the Rock is, excuse me, and anybody that doesn't see this as being a very genuine element of CM Punk's anger and his angst is not reading what's really going on in front of your very eyes every Monday night. You want reality television? Listen to what CM Punk says on television, because it's very real to him, I assure you.
I bet it's very real to you too. Just going back to the whole pet project thing, talking about your involvement, you're even appearing at live events. I would assume somebody of your stature and would be just fine appearing on television, appearing on Raw. But here you are at live events with CM Punk.
I'm the world's biggest CM Punk fan. I have believed in him since the day I met him, because he made me believe in him, because he gave me something to believe in. The same way back in 1991 when I was standing at center stage in Atlanta with Jim Ross, and a kid who had been wrestling in Dallas stepped into the ring and started hitting the ropes harder than anybody had ever seen hit the ropes. And I looked at Jim Ross and I said, this guy's gonna be a star. And he said, yep, Steve Austin is a blue chipper. And he was. And the very same way I felt about Steve Austin in 1991 is the same way I felt about CM Punk the day that I met him. It is an honor for me to appear at any event with CM Punk. I am a fan of CM Punk's. I want to witness history by watching every match that I can that he's involved in. It's like I used to go to Brock Lesnar's UFC fights. I feel the same way every time CM Punk steps in the ring. I'm witnessing greatness. I'm next to a legend. I get to experience an event with a first ballot Hall of Famer. Why wouldn't I go to these events? It's an honor for me to go.
Normally I reserve the MMA questions for Ariel Helwani, but I'll ask you one question. UFC President Dana White has actually said, if Brock Lesnar would ever want to return to the UFC, I would welcome him with open arms. I'd give him another fight. What do you make of that?
I make of it that Dana White is a businessman and he understands the pay-per-view numbers that Brock Lesnar can pull in, and he's sitting there saying, I want a piece of that action. And I don't blame Dana White. Hey, listen, do you think if Brock Lesnar went to the NBA right now and said, I can dunk a basketball, want to put me on a team? What team's going to say no? We don't want the ratings you can bring in, Brock. We don't want the numbers that you can draw. You think if Brock Lesnar could hit a baseball out of a park that the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox or the Minnesota Twins wouldn't put him on the roster to let him hit that ball out of the park? Of course they would. Dana White knows that Brock Lesnar can turn the octagon into the Brocktagon anytime that he wants, and his pay-per-view numbers are going to go up, 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 up with Brock Lesnar. Why wouldn't Dana White want Brock Lesnar back?
So the Minnesota Vikings made a mistake, is what you're saying?
No, the Minnesota Vikings put him in the system. They welcomed him with open arms, and he was the last guy to get cut. And at the time, if you read his book, Arda Ocal, you would know that he had a fractured pelvis and a broken jaw at the time. But did they turn him down, or did they put him into the camp? They put him in the camp, and they gave him a shot, and they were very smart to do it.
One thing CM Punk has said in a recent interview I want to get your thoughts on is he wants to induct you in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, many people watching this will agree that you will one day be, whether you believe so or not, in the WWE Hall of Fame. Who do you want to induct you?
You.
If I'm not available. I don't think I would not even begin to deserve that honor. So who would you want? Would it be like an ECW reunion?
I don't know. That's a question. That's presuming that I'm going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. And I have to tell you this, I don't look at it that way because I'm just starting to have fun again. And I live my life with the mindset of you ain't seen nothing yet. So anything that I've accomplished that people have liked, whether it's with ECW or Brock Lesnar or CM Punk, I'm looking at what I'm going to be doing in a couple of years from now. And hopefully what I do tomorrow is going to be better than what I do today. And what I do 2 days from now is going to be better than what I do tomorrow. So if you think I've had a Hall of Fame career so far, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I have one historical question for you before we let you go. I've always been curious how the partnership in the 90s between ECW and WWE came about. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. They were getting their asses kicked by WCW. Bischoff was spending millions and millions of Ted Turner's money, and he had every right to, so I don't blame him for doing it. I would have done the same thing if I was in that position. And ECW was struggling to get on pay-per-view. I mean, understand, I first met Vince McMahon when I was 14 years old. And I used to get $50 in the corners of Madison Square Garden from his father for taking pictures of him with Andre the Giant. So, I mean, I've known this man since I was a kid. And here we were in this environment where WCW had a scorched earth policy. And the wrestling business was going to burn to the ground at the hands of Eric Bischoff and his gasoline-induced flames. So we were all in trouble. I needed to get on pay-per-view. Vince McMahon needed more content. I'll give you content, you promote my pay-per-views. Or from his perspective, I'll promote your pay-per-views, you give me a little bit of content. And it worked out for both of us. But again, I've known Vince since I was 14 years old, and I think he has disliked me since I was 15.
I apologize for the shady introduction.
Listen, I'm all about shady people. I like shady introductions. And you know, if you can get away with it, mazel tov, more power to you.
One last thing. If I want to be, I don't even know that there's an application process, but let's say I want to be a Paul Heyman guy. How do I do it? How do I become a Paul Heyman guy?
You can't.
You can't?
No, you can't.
Like me personally or in the general population?
The slot has been filled by Ariel Helwani.
Ah, I see. So I have to get rid of Ariel first, and then I can be.
Now, see? You've just accomplished your first step into becoming a Paul Heyman guy.
Ariel, I'm coming for you.